Hey everyone, I'm Pratik, part of the marketing team at Eigen Labs.
Hey everyone, my name is Vignesh. I'm the general manager for the EigenCloud R&D team.
And yeah, we're here to discuss Vignesh's experience at HackMIT. So Vignesh, welcome back. You went to HackMIT recently. What was your experience so far?
I think it was a really phenomenal experience. So we were able to use one of our employees, Gajesh, who went to HackMIT with us, and he had a really powerful personal story. When he was 13 years old, he got $7 million in one of his DeFi contracts. And the way he did that was because blockchains are verifiable. And he was able to tell his story in front of 1,200 students. And I think because of that, we had hundreds of students. I think we gave out 300 pieces of swag come to our station. And from there, about 40 students actually deployed on our EigenCompute platform and tried to build a verifiable agent or a verifiable application. So really a phenomenal experience.
That's awesome. Let me ask you something directly. As a crypto company, why do you think it makes sense for us to go to HackMIT, like a place like HackMIT, which I think it's predominantly like Web2 developers?
Correct, yeah. So when we went to HackMIT, actually, we couldn't explain our product in the typical Web3 terms. Actually, a really great analogy I like to use was, let's say that you had two people who got into a car crash. One was insured by Allstate and one was insured by Geico. And now you want an AI agent to decide who caused the crash. Geico can't run the agent, and neither can Allstate. But the idea with the EigenCloud is that you have a single agent that can be run verifiably, where you know what's gone into the training. And so Geico and Allstate can come to agreement ahead of time that that agent could adjudicate them. And that's kind of how we told our story to many of the builders at HackMIT. And this gets to my broader point, which is, I think when crypto came out and Ethereum really launched, we were talking about all kinds of use cases. And for EigenCompute, we definitely love DeFi and love to see them. But we also wanted to tie crypto back to some of that original ethos that Vitalik had when he created Ethereum and go after this broader set of use cases. Because we think with the scale and programmability of EigenCompute, that we're going to be able to unleash a whole new set of use cases built on AI and maybe even healthcare, as many of our HackMIT builders were thinking.
So in terms of ROI, Vignesh, how do you think we did, let's say, community awareness, brand awareness, and also developer interest?
Right. So one thing I will call out is, I think with a student hackathon like this, our intention is not necessarily to go out and convert people into leads. We have two other goals that I think are really important. One is to maintain and build a strong talent pipeline. I think through HackMIT, we were able to collect quite a few very interesting resumes who I think could make our company much stronger. The second is it gives us a great platform to take our products, which in this case, EigenCompute, which is a relatively new product. It's in what we would call a private preview stage, and get that directly in front of builders and get that feedback. So we had a couple of folks from the engineering team, and we were able to real time explain the product to someone who had never heard about crypto, get them to onboard and build a verifiable app, and make sure that they could go through that process. So to me, that's a really invaluable feedback loop. And then maybe, if we're lucky, we might get a few builders who decide to build some interesting startups on EigenCloud.
It's clear to me that the hackathons gave us clear insight and the values, strategic input from different blocks. I also want to kind of get into what surprised you, because we are talking about students there, obviously have tech interest. And we are also building the developer community. What was the surprising factor?
I'll be honest, one big surprise for me is when I asked, I think, a couple hundred students, how much do you know about blockchains? The answer was unfortunately very little. I think that shows kind of how insular we've made some of the Web3 community, where if I was to ask any of these students, how much do you know about Claude? or how much do you know about AI? I guarantee every single student would have said, I know quite a bit about that. And I think that's the thing that we're not thinking about enough in crypto, is that we do find some PMF and we do find some use cases, but we haven't really broken into that mainstream developer adoption yet. And that is one thing that I think was pretty powerful about our HackMIT journey, was it gave us like almost like real-time feedback on 300 different ways to try and explain EigenLayer and EigenCloud, which are relatively complex products, to people who are developers but not Web3 native.
That's awesome. One of the things that I'd like to talk about is, we're obviously living in a world that is getting towards agentic, agentic. And I know the student communities are very excited about this. I would love to understand what we are kind of offering to them, and maybe some use cases that students can explore doing on their own.
Yeah, and so the way I like to think about this is, if you're talking about single player agents that just talk to you like a chatbot, verifiability is just not super important for those use cases. But it's when you start talking about multiplayer agents or agents that are fully autonomous where verifiability comes in quite a bit. Let's say I want to create a trading agent. And let's say I'm a student hacker. I'm not going to be able to get people to put $1 million into my agent. The idea with EigenCloud is I can prove the image. I can prove the training weights. I can have guarantees about my liveness and stability of my agent. And we're going to use those guarantees to get money, and that really draws in verifiability.
Awesome. I think we covered a lot of ground, and this is great. Thanks a lot, Vignesh. I think this is really helpful.
Great to be here.
Yeah, I think great to be here.